cars, and I had no idea that we both worked at FFL.
Yeah, I remember that.
So one day we found out, we're like, bro, what the, like you work, I work there. I was trying to like recruit him. I'm like, I need this dude to come work with me, But anyway, since I'm faster on a racetrack, Dean's beating me in numbers because, shameless plug, sorry. But so been here 8 years. He's hit Hall of Fame 3 times, not just for life. You all know what Hall of Fame means, by the way? A lot of new people here. Hall of Fame means what?
400,000.
400K. So not only has he done that 3 years in a row, but he's also done Annuity Hall of Fame 3 years in a row. Do you know how much that is?
That's 6 million.
2. Well, 2 million each year. So he's done both of those for 3 years in a row. And to my knowledge, only one in the 30,000 people that work here that's ever done that.
This was last year, yep.
So that's why he is here. Hell yeah, definitely. And by the way, I said you got to hit 400 to get there, and you got to hit 2 million to get there, right? Last year he did $733,000 in life, so he didn't just hit Hall of Fame. He damn near did it twice, and he did 4.6 million in annuities, and he's already at 3.2 for the year. So
You hit Hall of Fame in life and Hall of Fame in annuity at the same year?
yeah, 3 years in a row.
2023, I hit life and annuities at the same time. This past year, I just did my primarily annuities is what my goal was. I wanted to double my annuity volume from 2023 into 2024. So my goal is to double it again this year from almost 5 million to 10.
So my man drove like 3 hours
Almost 3, 2.5.
to be with
Yeah.
us, and that's what kind of stats he's got, and that's what he's going to share with you. So I hope you were taking notes, recording this,
Love it.
something, please. So
Thank you,
please
man.
welcome
I
Dean.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being with us.
So Shannon doesn't want to admit that BMWs break down a lot more than Fords do, so it's okay. We know about the crankshaft failures and those things, the crank hubs. They're
Never
pretty.
had a problem.
You will soon enough. You keep saying that.
Found on road dead.
And hey, that's all right. 1,000 horsepower, baby. Let's go. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everyone's hospitality today. To touch a little bit what Dave said, I've known Dave since he stepped foot in the company. When my fiance had cancer a few years ago, uterine cancer, Dave was the first one to call me. It's a bit of a touchy subject, but with his, faith and encouragement, like, she's cancer-free to this day. That was like one of the challenges you have in this business is dealing with adversity, right? How many of you guys know my story in general with FFL? A few here. I know KG. April does. So I came to FFL. I was introduced to FFL back in 2017, in roughly November. And prior to that, I was in sales and sports supplement nutrition. I was the guy that would go like from country to side to countryside, knock on random retail stores and offer protein powders, pre-workouts, pretty much everything that has methamphetamines in it, not illegally. So I did that for a few years, and the person that introduced me to the business, his spouse at the time was actually one of our sponsored athletes, and he told me about the insurance industry. And I'm not going to be honest, I thought this was like a big pyramid scam. I was like, yeah, no thanks. I tried to do work with MLM structures, with Amway and other things. I'm like, I don't have time for this. He goes, no, it's nothing like that. It's an insurance business where it teaches you how to protect people based on their requests through leads. I was like, well, what's a lead? So who's been here for more than 5 years, 6 years? So I'm like the dinosaur almost. Well, you two, you guys have been here since when? 5 years. How about you, Kali? 6. So I don't know if you remember the CRM back when I first started. That thing sucked. Oh my God! But anyway, it was like the most generic thing you see. But you were able to see the actual screenshot. Back then we had mortgage leads only, and they were physical mail-in. There was no final expense. There was no vet leads. There was no CR. There was nothing, and everything was locked out. So in order for you to go run business, you better figure it out or quit. That was it. So he showed me what a lead was. It was an actual mortgage request. I was like, yeah, all you got to do is call this person, let them know, they fill this out, they sent it back, go out and see them. I was like, oh, that's easy. What do I got to do? Go get your license. So I studied, and I failed it 3 times back to back. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but I didn't give up because I saw the potential of what this business had to offer. And the biggest thing that changed my entire perspective about this company was the national conference. I had $400 to my name. I had a repossessed car, and I still made it out to Dallas, Texas with 0 excuse because I wanted something different. And when I got my license and I started diving into this business, I talked to a lot of people that I knew, friends, family, social media. I probably closed 35, 40 grand in annual premium just from that network alone in my very beginning stages. And then I started diving into lead resources. But one thing that really separated what I really liked about the business is the investment side. And that's when I learned about annuities, like pretty much my very first real lead. And it was an age mortgage lead that I sat with. And I didn't know anything. How many of you guys use a financial worksheet? Everybody should be using that. If you're not, you're missing out on money on the table. That should be your component. That should be your bread and butter. Why are y'all sitting in there? Get your butts in here. There's like 5 seats.
I can hear you, son.
Nah, dude, get in there. I'm like, y'all hiding back there doing, I don't know what you're doing out there. Your financial worksheet should be your foundation to every meeting, and I'll tell you why that's so important. Like, is everybody here virtual sales now? Anybody still do in person like me? Occasionally. I'm still face to face. I'm psychotic. I like to drive around for 10 hours a day. I don't care. I'm too strong on energy to sit here for 12 hours. That's just me. But even so, if you do it on a virtual platform, if you start to become just transactional from one person to another, you're missing a lot of key components along the way that will help you create better structure for the client. But number 2, you're leaving money on the table to put, as deposits into your account. So on the financial worksheet, there's a little thing that on the middle where it's asked for like life insurance, like 401k, TSP, and so forth, right? And I always, when I get to that little section, I always say, hey, Shannon, now that we know your mortgage is $300,000, right? In case of your death, we got to pay that off. Outside of life insurance, do you have anything else that can pay out to your family so they can reduce that balance or potentially pay it off in full? Like a 401k, TSP, Roth, IRA, what do you have?
I got a 401k.
You got a 401k. Are you still actively contributing in that 401k?
No, it's my old company.
Okay, how much is it currently in there? When was the last time you looked at? What was the last balance you remember seeing?
About 500.
500,000. How long ago was that?
Probably a year ago.
1 year. Here's the key. Everybody should write this down. Shannon, when was the last time someone took time to professionally and financially review that with you, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do?
Never.
Never. Can you log in for me right now real quick?
Sure.
Tell me, when was the last time you had somebody professionally and financially review that with you to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do? Why is that important? Can anybody answer that?
Because not only by you saying this, what I'm thinking of right as a consumer.
Sure.
I'm like, man, you know what? I haven't even talked to that guy, that hasn't even called me. You know what, dude? I would like to look at what you can do for me.
Yeah.
And it's also the value you're just asking.
Right. So number 1, it's going to make them realize that no one else cares about their financial portfolio. They're going to look at it and be like, ooh, it's down 100,000. Last time I remember seeing it was 500. What happened in the last 12 months that changed? Well, the market changed. And that's the only way to explain it. When the market drops, they suffer the losses. Now, you log in, Shannon, you say, yeah, it's down to 400,000, right? Let's just use 400,000 as a number. Okay. Shannon, you worked a lot. What did you do to accumulate that 401k? What was your previous employment?
I was a teacher.
You were a teacher. If you don't mind me asking, how many hours did you spend teaching on a week-to-week basis to these kids?
Probably 50, 60 hours.
50, 60 hours. You've worked so hard to accumulate 500,000. How does it make you feel knowing that you lost 100,000 just by sitting there and you had no control on it?
It sucks.
It sucks. What if I showed you something that will prevent losses for your future gains forever, and you don't have to pay me a single dollar to put it in there?
I'm listening.
Okay. Can you send me a statement? He'll send me a statement. I'll take a look at it. I'll analyze it. Shannon, we have what's called in the insurance, what's called an FIA. Do you know what that means? Have you ever heard of it?
Nope.
Okay. It can stand for multiple things, but this is the actual definition of fixed indexed annuity or fixed index account. You can use both. Have you ever heard of annuities, Shannon?
Yes.
What is your best knowledge of an annuity?
I just heard a commercial of J.G. Wentworth.
J.G. Wentworth. What did they tell you? What's the mind-blowing?
Cash now. I can get that money now.
You can get it now. All right, man. Did he tell you about Uncle Sam, how much you got to pay Uncle Sam for, and surrender fees and all kinds of stuff?
No.
Oh, yeah.
That. Cash now.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people are still in debt because of that. So what a fixed index annuity does, Shannon, it takes you away from all the risk that's exposed on today's markets, which means when the market tanks, you're still at your highest principal balance that was before it went down. The good news is we don't participate in a daily symbol. You ever seen a stock chart? Right? You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. It's like a endless roller coaster, right? It feels good when you go up, but then when you start going down, you get that sick stomach feeling. You want to vomit. That's your money right now. So how much long can you afford to lose before you say it's enough?
Never. I don't want to lose it.
Never. And here's the crazy part. You don't have a power to put a stop option on it today when you leave it where it's at, or with a mutual fund or whatever. You don't have that control. With an FIA, you do. What they do is they use what's called a point system. 1 year, point to point, P2P, right? Sorry, my handwriting's not the best. They're going to look at the 12-month performance from start of your contract to the next year's anniversary date and see what that average return was on that market strategy. Most of my clients have it blended within the NASDAQ, BMP, S&P, which is very popular. And they're going to look at all those collectively and see what the market has been doing in those strategies for the last 12 months. Okay? And they're going to say, well, we had a pretty, is there a eraser somewhere? I'm going to redraw this. Let's say, here's your 400K, right? Well, the markets went up, and it took a big dive, then it kind of stayed here. It looked like it was climbing, it went up, blah, 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 and then it goes up, then it goes down, and it kind of leveled out, all right? Well, here's what's going to happen to your funds. You started 400. They're going to go up. You're not going to see anything here, okay? It's going to go down. You're not going to see anything down, and you're not going to see anything in between. You're going to see the average from this point to the end of what that interest was so they can credit you whatever percentage is gained. And it's not based on the interest rate alone. It's based on what we call par rates, participating rates. Most index options with insurance companies average between 100 to 300%, depending on your strategy, of par rates. So most of our NASDAQ stuff is about 150 right now, maybe a little bit less, but I'm just going to use 150 as an example. If you put your entire balance into this strategy and this index earns 10% in 1 year, you're actually making 15% interest on the back end. And that gets locked in at the end of the year. So now you recuperated your losses and you have a higher balance that's never going to go back down. How does that sound?
Let me transfer all my 401ks to you. Right?
Exactly. It's simple. But here's the problem that a lot of agents have. You guys don't take time to explain this, or don't take time to learn it,
Or to ask that question.
or to even ask the question, why is that financial worksheet so important? KG, how many people you talked to about annuities last week? Or brought up the conversation, what else do you have that could pay out in case you die?
I never not asked that.
Exactly. And that's why KG contacts me, like, hey, we have a new opportunity to talk to. Shannon, what did you...
You cheating on me with Dean?
It's all right. 3-time Hall of Fame annuities. You got to get to that level. I'm messing with you. But in all seriousness, no, when you connect an expert that knows more than you, that's how you learn. I didn't know anything about this. But here's what I did know. I had a cell phone. And when I sat in front of that client and I just put it on speaker and I listened, I was just like a sponge. I was like, holy shit, this works. This is crazy.
And the money you made, that blessing.
My first annuity I discovered was $370,000 that I split with my upline at the time. I made about $4,000 almost on that, plus a $4,000 Americo CBO in the same house. So I made almost $10,000 in one transaction by asking this question. He wasn't even going to buy life insurance. And then my second annuity was off of a door knock that I relentlessly doing. It was almost $750,000, $756,000. That's a client to this day, since 2018.
You said that you're like, you don't even have to pay me anything. That's powerful.
It is very powerful. And a lot of people don't believe that. Well, how do you get paid? Well, guess what? They pay me out of their general ledger to provide the services to you. And guess what? My service is still free beyond that point, whether you need me or not. And guess what? They don't take a front charge fee, front load fee to pay us out of your account balance. And you're getting a bonus, which we'll talk about that too. But the point of is, in order to get to this, you got to do the financial worksheet top to bottom. You got to, well, you already have customers, you have leads. You just got to talk to them. So who's a top telesales dog in here right now? Who sells the most telesales in this group? Outside of KG. Amaka, where's she at?
Volume or number of policy.
I'm just talking like the big, like
like
per month,
50 cases
annual premium per month on average. Who's a top dog in here right now? I know Amaka connects me to people. I don't have to talk to her. Anybody else
Probably me then.
outside of you? Fresh face.
I'm in person, but I did
I love it.
7K last month.
Okay, in person, brand new.
Killer.
No, how long you been in the business?
3 years.
3 years. And you doing 7K a month?
Yeah.
Okay,
Other insurances as well.
got it. Like health and Medicare and stuff. Okay, so that keeps you busy. That's good. Same thing you can apply to those to that kind of concept as well. Yeah, Jacob.
$1 million.
Alright, what's up?
Hey, raise your hand. Like for real? Okay. So you've written annuities before. Yeah. Okay, you wrote one. Well, that was the $1 million one you wrote? Okay. Give me a rundown how you discovered that. So everybody else can hear from a different perspective, not just mine.
I asked him a question.
Which question? What specific question did you ask?
Anything that acts like life insurance?
Write that down. Do you have anything that acts like life insurance? That's another approach. Simple. What else?
Then he gave me his money. I don't know.
But in order for you to, and this was done over the phone, I assume?
Yeah.
See, this is a lot harder to build that kind of trust with someone's money over the phone. What did you do in what order to secure that person's trust to be able to transfer that money over into an annuity?
I mean, I just connected with him on the relationship standpoint. I didn't focus on the money aspect.
There you go.
That's just with any telesales. It's just in order to make it non-transaction, you have to be emotional with it.
Exactly.
So
But one thing you did was you dove down deep in the financial aspect. Here's my approach that works almost every time. Shannon, if you don't mind me sharing with me, what's left on the table if you die tomorrow outside of life insurance? And he may come back and say, well, why do you need to know all that information? Well, easy answer, Shannon. In order for me to make a professional financial recommendation to protect your family in the worst case scenario, I need to evaluate all of the losses that will be exposed on the table tomorrow if you don't make it. Because now I want to hit him. So the thing with clients in general, and this is how you build value from life insurance with everything else, is too many people nowadays are very transactional. And I talked about this with another lock in this past week. It's like sale, 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 sale. No, you're good. How much does it take you all to close a policy over the phone on average time frame?
30 minutes.
And you missed a lot of money. I hate to tell you. I would take that 30-minute conversation, extend it to dive a little bit more into their emotional side. Orlando, right?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I keep mixing everybody's names up. Orlando, let me ask you this. When you took time to send this request in on this life insurance, on this final expense policy, what was most important to you? Who are you looking to protect? And what happens if you cannot get this today? Keyword cannot, because I don't know if he qualifies.
My wife will be destitute.
Okay, what do you have right now that would transfer over as a financial legacy to your family or on your behalf to your spouse or kids or whatever?
I'm still in the military and I have a TSP.
You have a TSP?
I don't even know how much is in it.
Okay, no worries. When was the last time you looked at that TSP?
You know what? I haven't even looked at it.
You haven't even looked at it?
But I should look at that.
We need to look at it, and here's why. Because guess what? What if you passed away today, or God forbid yesterday, and your spouse doesn't even know that you had this, and it could have helped them tremendously in moving forward financially?
That would be detrimental.
That detrimental. Can you run me down by that? What would happen?
The mortgage,
So you have a mortgage.
yeah.
So the mortgage is in jeopardy. What else?
Man, the cars.
Cars, liabilities. So a lot of financial liability is on the table. And your wife has no idea you have a TSP, and what does she expect that's going to be left there? Now,
She's gonna have to sell the house.
she'd have to sell. See how I'm diving in an emotional standpoint before I even talked about a product?
That's right.
that's good. Engagement.
Products are easy. They sell themselves. He's going to sell me why he needs this.
Yeah.
So
He knows I have a solution. Here's my analogy of clients. Does anybody know what a lead is? What's a lead? Give me a definition.
name,
A relationship.
name,
Outside of that. What's a lead?
this is opportunity.
Outside of that. I love the answers.
Name and number.
Okay, I'm going to kill you guys with this. Here's my definition of a lead. A lead comes in, virtual or in person. I look at it, and I see somebody crying for help.
Wow.
Where's y'all's emotions at, yo? Everybody's still focused on the fucking dollar. Where's the emotion at?
That's pretty
Damn, that's deep.
down deep.
So I look at this lead, and I look at it as like, okay, this person currently has a slit on their wrist. And they're bleeding, but they're bleeding to the point where it's not do or die just yet. They're bleeding because they know, like, I got to stitch it up, but I don't know where to go, who to call. So when I call them, right, I say, KG, I'm going to rip you apart emotionally before I rip you apart financially. Why is that important? I don't want to charge back, number one. I want someone to rely on this when the time does come, because I have claims that happen. I've been in this business for a long time. You'll have them too if you haven't. But my analogy is this. I'm going to rip her apart so emotionally to the point where I'm taking a blade and I'm cutting it even further open to the point of death. I want to scare her. Not to the point where it's like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to this person. But I want to paint the picture of the reality of the person that's benefiting the most. KG, in the event of your demise, who's the one person that's going to be responsible to pick up the pieces when you die?
My mom.
Your mom. How long do you think it would take your mom to find out you're gone?
Oh, right away, because if I don't respond,
Right, okay. What do you think she would do in that situation?
she would probably go, she would probably have to, like, go through my stuff.
Go through your stuff. She walks into your place of residence. She sees you lying on the floor unresponsive. What do you think she does?
She breaks down.
Okay. She finally realizes her baby girl's gone. What do you think she's going to do moving forward and realizing that you have other things in place that need to be taken care of financially? Do you have a life insurance policy right now, KG?
Honestly?
No,
Okay.
pretend you're a client.
Okay, say no.
Yeah, just say no.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Like most people, KG, like most people, KG, people have their own secret places. They put important documents, paperwork. I'm assuming you have something like that in your house, in the closet, or maybe a safe or something. You have documents sitting around.
I got documents everywhere.
You got documents everywhere. Well, before I finish today with you, KG, we're going to make sure there's a life insurance policy in that document so your mom knows exactly what to do with your final wishes.
Okay.
Does this sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
When you fill this out, what do you care about the most?
Making sure my mom doesn't struggle financially to take care of my
Is there any reason you don't see value in leaving a policy for her today?
No.
I close my case.
So you're basically creating a tie.
I'm going to kill you on paper.
Tie downs with emotion.
Of course.
Beautiful. I like that.
And I haven't even talked to her about her health or anything. I need to know why they fill this cry for help out. That's how you get to life insurance. That's how you get to the annuities. A lot of you guys don't do that. Why? You guys are just, I want to make my money. I will spend 2 hours with the client if I have to because I know I will get paid if I do the right thing for them. And I don't care. You guys have to be very conscious that you have to relate that situation to yourselves if that was you in their position. Because they don't know what they're doing. All they care about is two things, and Shaw Mike talked about it many times. How much is it going to cost? Is it going to pay when I die? That means we want to find them immediate coverage day one if we can. That's what we really need to be good at. Because that little emotional connection, it takes 5 minutes. I don't build rapport. Oh, hey, how's your day doing? What's your favorite football team? You're wasting time. They don't care. They don't care what your favorite football team is. They don't care about your family. They care about, shit, I woke up today. If I die, my wife has nothing. That's what they care about. So we need to dive into that perspective of what happens when they're gone. April, you're a mom. You have a spouse. How many kids y'all have? If you didn't have life insurance, where would their reality be today if you were no longer around? Bad. How bad? But see, you got to, like, how bad? No house, no car, nothing. Don't say, oh, it's going to be bad. Okay. No, how bad? I know that if I'm gone, thankful I have $2 million almost in life insurance on myself now, but prior to this, I didn't have anything. But I do know that everyone's going to be taken care of around me. Not emotionally, but to alleviate the burden so they can grieve in peace. That's what you guys have to do. And that leads to other avenues. By the way, if you can't get life insurance today, and I say that respectfully, Shannon, because I don't know if you qualify, I'm going to do my very best to find you something suitable. But if you can't get it, what else do you have that acts like life insurance? You're exposing that entire perspective, the financial picture that we all so dreadfully don't want to be in.
You're placing urgency.
You have to.
Yeah.
They're crying for help. They didn't see this. Who gets up every morning? Today's a great day to buy some life insurance. Yippee. Nobody does that. They see it based on something it's a life event that happened. They realize it's going to happen sooner or later. Or they know someone that went through it. So you can also ask them in the beginning, when you took time to fill this request out, did you know someone that passed away that didn't have life insurance? Or something happened to you and your family? Figure that part out. Take the first 10 minutes to discover the reason behind it. Because guess what's going to happen? They're going to keep this and they're going to come back for more. And they're also going to send you people. Guess what? You don't have a freaking chargeback and you have persistency on the books. And that's going to keep you in the business long term. My persistency is 92%, 8 years almost running. Because I do this with intention. I don't play around with it. And I work less for more now because of the value that you have to provide. That's the beauty about this business. You can work 7 days a week and be a workhorse. Great. If that's your niche, go for it. I don't want to do that. I want my weekends off. But I do that by controlling what I have in front of me. And also, second thing you really want to do is get your schedule in order. The biggest struggle a lot of new people have is scheduling. Even some of the veteran agents, seasoned agents have schedule problems. It's like a yo-yo. Bounce it up and down. Second guessing. I'll use Google Calendar for everything. It's all color coded. All my appointments are in green. Green means money. I collect on those days. I do that so I know where I can eliminate all the white space as much as possible, especially when I'm working. Like, what can I do today that I didn't do enough of yesterday? Who here is an admin dialer that helps with their schedule?
I do.
You do? You do? Most of us who are been here for a while now have, which is great help. But here's my thing. If you're new and you want to hire, I got to hire a dialer, don't just dive. It took me almost 5 years to hire somebody. Because I wanted to make sure that they can duplicate what I was doing for success. If you hire somebody, Chad, and they don't sound like you on the phone, they don't mimic your every movement, you're wasting money. They have to duplicate what's working for you so they can continue that same trend so you can stay busier more efficiently. Schedule is very important. It starts with schedule leads and then the rest is all execution on the plan. But your leads are your lifeline to really crack down the emotional side of the business. Why? I need to know. I'm going to cut you wide open until you bleed. And I'm going to tell you if you can get it or not. And if you can't, I don't know what to tell you because it's tough. How many of you have sat with people or talked to people, you can't help them? In general, you can't help them. They can't qualify.
It breaks my heart sometimes.
It does.
And then the part where it gets really tough is that last week I had this old guy. He's 75, has nothing.
75.
He's banged up, and he says, "Man, I wish I would have done this sooner."
They're realizing
And I
until
use
it's
that
too
story
late.
with my new clients.
100%. Here's a story that anybody can use. And this happened to me my very first year. I had a client. It was a mortgage protection. I sat with him. He couldn't qualify except at that time Transamerica. $50,000, whole life, instant decision, full coverage. It was like $236, $240. And he calls me back 3 months later. He goes, "I need to cancel that policy." I was like, "Let me come back. Let's take a look at it, see what's going on." So I go back, try to salvage it, because that's what we're taught to do in the beginning. Yep. If they try to cancel, go back and sit with them. Build that why all over again. I didn't know at the time. I was still brand new in the business. I was just excited to make money. That's how I was. I came from nothing, wanted to make something. All I saw was a transaction. So we canceled the policy. I was like, "Cool, here's what you got to do. You got to call the carrier. They have to cancel. I can't do it on your behalf. Just call them." We called together. Right in front. No, I didn't argue. I was like, whatever. I did not, pardon my French, give a shit. I was like, because I already have other appointments that are lined up. I'm good. 6 months later, guess what happened? His wife calls me from his cell phone. I thought it was him. I save everyone's number. All my clients, I say with their number, I put down FFO client and what state they're in. So if they call, I know it's them. Easy, dude. It's so simple. And she calls me. She's like, "Hey, I'm looking for my husband's life insurance." I was like, "Who's this?" I can't remember. It was like such and such. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry to tell you, he actually canceled it." He goes, "She did what? He did what?" It's like, "Yeah, he canceled it. Like, I tried to convince him to at least reduce the cost on it. He didn't want to." I was like, "Okay, he wanted to cancel." She goes, "I wish he didn't do that because it would have saved my house. He passed away this weekend."
Wow.
And her exact words, I don't care how much it would have cost, it would have saved my house. I was like, wow. That was the first emotional connection I had with a client telling me, especially a spouse, telling me the side of that story. I was like, wow, this is deep.
I have a question. How did that hit you?
I didn't realize it at first, but you know what? Here's a second scenario that really, here's a second scenario that hit me. This one didn't bother me as much because I looked at it as a financial stand. What bothered me was there was a lead that came in. I tried to call, and they didn't answer. I was like, let me just go door knock it. I bring the lead. I always have my stuff printed with me, take it with me, and I knock on the door, and I'm like, hey, is this you? He goes, yeah, and the guy's in tears. I was like, you okay? He goes, no, man, my wife just died. Right on those steps, she fell down, broke her neck, because she was already disabled. I was like, I'm really sorry, man. I'm lost for words at that point. He was crying. I was like, just give me a hug, dude. He hugged me. He let me in, told me his story. I was like, I've been trying to reach y'all for like 2 weeks. He goes, yeah, she filled that out for mortgage protection. That's when I realized that this is real. When you have scenarios like that, it's hard to, sometimes over the phone, it's hard to figure it out. That's why I'm saying build that value in the very beginning so you learn your clients. So I fast forward to now, majority of my business is done still, face-to-face. I still do some virtual stuff, reviews. I did dive into some actual CRM veteran leads. My first vet batch, here's a true story. I called a lady, and she was very nice. I was like, hey, tell me what happened. What prompted you to feel? She goes, well, to be honest with you, they're trying to diagnose me with dementia. I don't have dementia, but at the VA, they're trying to push me through for dementia so I can go in these meds. I'm scared I can't get insurance. She started crying on the phone. She goes, I'm really sorry. I was like, don't apologize. Take all the time you need. So we went through a process. We got her an application in. She got approved. She was so ecstatic. And this is an over-the-phone thing, not even in person. But I did that because I took time to ask simple questions in the very beginning. Who, what, when, why? Yeah. If you don't ask, you don't know. You're just like, oh, well, this product will be great for you. Great. Then next thing you know, you have a chargeback. I'm not in the business to lose money. I'm in the business to make money, but also give value to the people that are going to benefit the most. So take your time. Don't run, 30 minutes, okay, great, but what are you trying to run for a rat race to be the fastest application processed? I don't want to do that. I don't care. All my appointments, all my numbers are from taking my time with people, not from rushing. Right. You can be a top agent by producing how many of those numbers are real. What counts is what goes in my bank account. Mm-hmm. I don't care about the issue paid numbers. Half of them are fake. Right. Mm-hmm. Real talk. Half of them are fake. Why? Because they don't factor in chargebacks on those numbers. I look at what goes in my account. So ironically, last year, 733 was issue paid, 750 hit my bank account because I track that. I don't track chargebacks. I track what hits my account. I have chargebacks too, but it's not like always. It happens.
Clarify that 750 is just from life.
No, that's all together.
All together?
The net deposits in my bank account from everything combined.
Gotcha.
Yeah, about 200,000 was from annuities. This year's a little bit more in annuities so far, but give or take. But my point to that is I don't track issue paid because I don't know what the numbers are real. Corporate doesn't track that. They only track when the first payment gets collected to the carrier. They don't track 3 months later, right? But what you track on your spreadsheet, what goes in is what matters the most because that shows you how profitable you are based on your work ethic. You have to be profitable in general when it comes to this business, not just whatever. I'll get a corporate bonus. Great, you got $2,000. Buy more leads. But to me, I built this business around values for people because I'm very customer service oriented. I worked in many different industries before. I worked in financial banks. I worked in loan companies. I worked at dealers. I worked everywhere. So I look at the customer value aspect of it. What can I do to really go above and beyond in hospitality? Well, my hospitality to these people is finding out their why so I can really change that over to them. And there's another thing I also do. What do you guys do in follow-up? For you guys doing telesis, what do you do in follow-up after you close the deal? What's your follow-up pitch? What do you do when you close a deal? You just, thanks, call me when you get a policy, or you guys send anything out? I'm just generally curious. Oh, I thought your hand raised.
Huh?
No. Oh.
Well, yeah, they get a follow-up email.
Okay.
Now, if I don't hear from them in 7 to 10 business days, Cause like I keep a file before I move them over.
Okay.
Cause that's traditionally when their policy
Uh-huh.
comes in, I wanna make sure they got the contract. I'll
Okay.
reach out to them and just say, hey, it's me again, I didn't hear from you, I just wanna make sure you got your contract.
This is all for your telesales.
Right, but I have an office manager who follows up 5 days before the draft date.
Okay.
Just to remind them as a courtesy call. I do, at the end of the sale is the most important, because I let them know, like, hey, listen, if this ever becomes an issue in the future with price, like, there's things we can do to help you keep
Sure.
equity in your plan. If someone else tries to call you about insurance, I'm gonna close your request. I can't promise you because of your age that you won't get a phone call. And then I make it funny, like, I'm 37, I still get calls about Medicaid, and I'm
Right.
not even in
Right.
age for it. And then they laugh. And then I say, if someone does, they'll say things like, they'll try to trick you out of your policy.
Right.
They'll try to say, work with me, they work with the company. Don't believe it, I don't work with anyone, if anything, I have staff. So.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, concerns, they get legacy safeguard.
Perfect.
I explain to them what that is, they get their membership.
Does everybody know what that is?
Yes,
You
awesome.
use it.
So legacy safeguard reduces all confusion at the time of death with estate planning, end of life planning, grief support, counseling.
Yeah.
And resources to set up a living will or trust.
Yeah. So I'll leave a couple other things too. So here's what I do, you can do in addition to.
Yes.
So most of these people you talk to are from, they don't know who you are. They never seen your face. Maybe they see a picture of you in an email. Everybody has cell phones.
Yeah.
How many of you take time to pull out your phone after you close the conversation? Let's say I help Shannon. I just did help you over the phone. You got a policy. I'm going to take the video, take a 30-second selfie. Shannon, thank you so much for allowing me to help you protect your family. I'm Dean. I'm the real person. I just want to let you know how grateful you are to trusting me to give that to your family, because not many people can get this, as you know. But if you need anything, please save my number. This is my personal cell phone, same number my mom and my dad have. Click send, 30 seconds. Like easy shit. Like a lot of people need to, like, this is stuff you can do above and beyond. And I also I have forms. Have you guys ever seen that thing where it says, I am your life insurance policy? I have that paragraph on a separate sheet of paper. Below it, I have the carrier name, the carrier policy type, the premium, the draft date, their beneficiary name, my picture, my cell phone, my email. And I type that up every time, and I email them a copy of it. And I have a separate page that I've created, which if anybody wants to, please reach out, I can email it to you. It's a death claim instructions sheet that they give to their beneficiary. And on there it says, 5 easy steps how to file a death claim. And I put a little paragraph. I know in difficult times, actually I think I have it. I know in difficult times, it may be hard to deal with certain emotions. Filing a claim is not easy, but here's 5 easy steps to follow. The first step is contact your life insurance agent. My name, my number, my picture is on that form with my signature. Second thing is call the carrier, notify them of a death claim. Let them know that your loved one has passed. Third, allow them to send you the paperwork in the mail to properly process the claim. Fourth, let them do their time. They're going to investigate the claim. And then fifth, you'll get a check in the mail, assuming it's approved without any issues. Call me if you have any questions. And I tell them, please hand this sheet over to your beneficiary, because my name and number is on there. I want them to call me as soon as possible. Little tie downs like that will keep your business on the books a lot longer, and now there's no confusion when you do it on top of that. Guess what? I don't need an admin for that. I do that myself. It takes 2 seconds. You can send them notifications or call them about your premium, but carriers already do that in an email. They already send stuff out. Hey, be mindful your premium's coming out in 2 to 3 days. I know Mutual does it. I think America does it too. So some things I don't do if you don't need to, just to save a little bit of time. But the efficiency part is the most important part you have to do to make sure the client understands what value you're bringing to the table as a representative to them. Because that's the biggest gap a lot of people have. You have to be very mindful of that. Last but not least, I'll touch base a little bit about the 50-50 profitability. It's huge. How many of you guys have multiple bank accounts to split your deposits? Everybody should have at least 3. One thing you never want to do is commingle your funds. As exciting it is, imagine getting $1 million annuity deposit. There's $100 grand hitting your account. You're like, oh yeah, I'm good to go for a while. But I always look at it this way: 50% is never mine. Because I have business expenses, we got responsive, we got leads, all those things are business write-offs, but 50% should never be yours. No matter, if the roof caves down, it's not yours.
Right.
Why is that important? Does anybody know?
Because you want to have cash flow for your leads. You want to also be solvent. You don't want to
Everything, right. So you all will have bad weeks. We all will have bad weeks. You will never have a bad month if you keep working. Because if I have a bad week and I bought $1,000 in leads, I got 50 grand sitting here, I can buy another 1,000 easy, I can go to work. You have to do that every single day when you, if your deposit's $10, $5 is not yours, put it aside. Because essentially you will get burnt out. The one thing you never want to burn out is your business finances. It also motivates me to work a lot harder when my personal account starts getting low. And also, not to sound cheesy, but I buy expensive things because it motivates me to work harder. I look at it this way. Outside of the materials, but here's the thing though, I like to enjoy life because I came in this business from nothing. So I treat myself along the way because it motivates me to work harder too. I give when I can. I donate when I can. I help people when I can. I bought leads for agents when I could. I treat myself. We do a lot of things that I help my mom and dad when I can. But all these things that I do outside of helping families here allows me to push further because the next person that's crying for help could be a difference maker to your business value. So look at leads as a deep perspective, not just a ticket to a high sale. Always.
Orlando had a question. If you made so much money and you like to treat yourself to nice things, why don't you get a nicer car?
Why don't I get a nicer car? Because I don't want to. I like to.
Mustang, I mean,
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
That's all right. People have asked me that, and here's my thing. Yeah. Oh, people are like, you make all this money. Why don't you drive a Lamborghini? Because I can't fit in a Lamborghini. It's too tight.
Some people just see it. They don't realize that's the $100
You know,
version
I
of
will tell you a real perspective, and I don't want to hold up everybody's time. So I lived in Florida for a very short little while. This was back in 2020, COVID, 2020. So in August 2020, all the way through the end of 2020, we lived in Tampa, Florida. And I was already doing really well on my own pen. We got a big organization. I was making like, I don't know, almost 100 grand a month between my production, overrides, bonuses, everything. I was like, life is good. Let me go rent a house with a pool in the backyard in the middle of Tampa. $8,000 rent a month. I bought 2 cars over 100 grand. That's when I first bought my C8. I lived in this very wealthy development, like 5 minutes away. You can see Tom Brady's house across the river, literally. That's how close we were on the bay shore down there. And I realized every time I stepped out of the house, someone is one level above you because you see something nicer. And it pushed me even further, but it got me depressed. It made me realize that stupid, expensive things didn't provide happiness for me. I literally went into a state of depression. I had panic attacks. My blood pressure was up. I gained weight. I ate McDonald's 4 times a day while I was in the field. I didn't care. I did not care. I was bad. Shauna just found out she had cancer at that time. And we were like, we need to get the heck out of Dodge. So we moved to North Carolina for about a year to live somewhere more remote, but also like away from all the crazy, fake, flash. I realized a lot of people in Florida just rent stuff. They rent their cars, they rent their mansions. Mansions you can go down and get 5 people and rent a $20,000 a month rental house on the island over there. It's all rented. It's fake life down for the most part. It depends on where you live. I was like, I can't be around it. It just consumed me too much. My point, me sharing with that is, no matter how much money you make, use it wisely. Because it's going to become to one point like, yeah, I love my cars. I went through 22 cars in 4 years at this business, dude. I sold them and lost more money than you can imagine. I could have bought 5 Lambos for the money I flipped cars on, basically. But my point is like, I was trying to find myself with that because it was more money than I ever made. I made 40 grand a year prior to this job. 40 grand.
What'd you
And
do before this?
Supplements.
Before I was selling supplements. Before that, I worked at State Farm for $25,000 a year. $25K a year in a call center. Not fun.
Why'd you leave?
Terrible. Oh man, hey, the birthday parties were raving though. They brought donuts and cakes and everything else. But when you come from a position, who here has been broke? Be honest. Who has been flat broke? Like I went through bankruptcy before. I lost everything, not once but twice, and I can't afford to go back there anymore. That's a story. It's a journey, but I don't want to ever go back there. So I work hard with intention to never be in that position again. But 2, don't ever let money consume you in the ways that it shouldn't consume you. Trying to outwork somebody else with like, who cares? I used to be like, oh my God, I want what he had. Like I realize it's not the end of be all.
Yeah, but you said the key thing though. You said you actually work less now
I work less on,
Connections.
on hourly, I still produce more, which is crazy.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's flipped when you work smarter in certain aspects in life, but when you utilize the tools that we can actually put together in here, right? It's all from being intentional with people. Like, I don't want, like, I want to know how, like, for reason I go through that depth and emotional analysis in the very beginning, I want to know if you're serious about getting this. If I found out in 5 minutes here and I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is not for you. What do you mean? Sounds like you're just looking for quotes. I'm not the quote person.
yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you been in a situation where the budget was so low, even though they could qualify, were you like, I don't see where you could actually afford it? Have you ever not
Yes.
done a policy?
So here's the thing, and I'm going to dive into this too. If we're over time, let me know. If we're not, if you guys want me to keep going, I can keep going all day long. But what you should do on the back of your financial report, a separate piece of paper, go through their budget.
Yes.
Find out what their income is. If their income is,
$2,000.
let's see, great example. We'll use that. Let's do that. Let's say you're working with a final expense lead, and they're 65, male, smoker, SSI income, $2,000 a month.
That's on the high end, really.
Depends what state you're in, right?
Yeah.
Let's pretend you're my client. Orlando, how much is your rent or mortgage that you have?
Man, right now I'm paying $1,200.
$1,200 for that?
Yeah.
Is anybody helping you with it or no?
No, it's just myself.
Just you, okay. How much do you spend on utilities every month?
That's already included. I'm on Section 8.
What's that?
I'm on Section 8 housing.
Section 8, so most of it's covered.
Yeah, they cover my electricity.
Groceries, money to spend every month,
Grocery, I have to spend 150 a month.
150 on groceries.
Yeah.
Cell phone bill?
No, I have a government phone.
Okay.
I'm a vegan. Leave me alone.
Do you have a car payment,
No car payment.
car insurance?
No, I don't.
No, you don't drive, so you use public transportation if you have to get around? Okay. How much do you try to save every month to put aside for a rainy day just in case you ever needed it?
I try to save at least $100.
At least 100. Okay.
Things are tight, you know.
It is tight, I can see.
Plus my
And-
grandson Brian, he keeps hitting me up for money.
Okay. Outside of the expenses, is there any other funds you need to allocate to for other expenses, things like that?
No.
Okay. So is it fair to say that your discretionary income is about $550 left over? Okay. Do you always have $550 in a month? Does it just kind of goes by when?
Kind of fluctuates. Could be 450, 550.
What's the most you think you have by the end of the month left over?
I say about 450.
450 at the very most. Okay. All right. Do you have any life insurance right now?
I used to have an RRP, but I heard those things are no good. So
Okay.
something for me.
Nothing. No work insurance. Nothing rolled over. Okay. So no coverage. And you're 65 years young.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm 41.
Hey, that's all that matters, right? Also, my understanding, you still consume tobacco,
Yeah, I smoke cigars.
cigars. Do you plan on quitting those cigars anytime soon, within the next 3 years?
I think I should, but I don't know. I don't want to be I don't want to lie to you, but maybe.
Maybe, okay.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, okay. All right.
Anybody know why you asked that?
Yep, America, smoker advantage.
Ask ahead of time. How tall are you, Orlando?
I'm 5'5", but I feel like I'm 6 foot.
What's your estimated last recorded weight?
Before
Identify
breakfast,
6'4".
it's 160.
160. Why do I ask that?
Because BMI and also the weight chart, make sure you.
Always ask these things ahead of time.
You're underwriting them pretty much.
I'm underwriting prior to the underwriting because I know what the carrier is going to request, and I need to know what they're going to fit in.
I want to ask you a question real quick here.
Yeah.
Do you utilize insurance toolkits?
All the time. It's the best tool ever.
You only put them because you know sometimes you put the meds and if you put the condition, it's all jacked up.
Sometimes it is.
So
And
I don't want to put that. Can you?
yeah, so there's a great. So the problem with insurance toolkits, what I noticed, I've been using it for 2 years now, they categorize everything into one versus subcategory.
Yeah.
Like gabapentin. What's gabapentin primarily used for? Pain meds, nerve meds. Could be also used for neuropathy.
Yeah, for diabetic neuropathy.
Could be back pain. I don't know. The problem is, right? But the problem is some carriers, we'll categorize it all in one bundle. And it's like, nope, you're declined. But America, for example, will digest it and find out the exact prescription for it.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. So you have to understand the medication, what it's used for.
So for example, this was a big one, carvedilol. Carvedilol is a dual medication.
Yes.
It's for congestive heart failure and high blood pressure.
Blood pressure.
So there, I told our colleagues here, you guys gotta dig.
You have
Hey,
to.
Dean, are you taking this for high blood pressure or congestive heart failure?
Right.
Sometimes the agents, they don't ask that.
Right.
Oh, high blood pressure, right, cool, boom. You put it on like, why is it going to home office?
Right.
Did you ask more questions?
Correct. So that's the thing. Especially with final expense underwriting, it's all mainly categorized into one versus sub.
Even, this is a new one, even Viagra, not to be funny, it's
Impre-
also for
incre-
high blood pressure.
Increases blood flow, yeah.
They say, I told him, yo,
Imagine that, right?
no,
But-
dude, but it's not for that, you know.
You never know. Well, think about it this way. If you open up your I did a lot of supplemental stuff, so
No, it's a dual medication, I didn't know that.
right, but
When he told me, I said, I
essentially
need to know that.
when you open up your blood vessels through some kind of pump inhibitor, right? Not to be funny, it prevents the blood to flow a lot smoother without increasing the pressure of the blood. So why do bodybuilders in the gym use pre-workouts with pump inhibitor? Because it flows blood a lot more efficiently, so that you can actually fill up the muscle with dilation with the blood and everything else. I learned that when I. That's what I'm saying. Cialis, whatever, all that stuff is bodybuilders use. You know what we used to do to lose fat in the gym? Ephedrine. You ever use that? It increases the burning heart, the heart rate sensation. So you burn fat more. Crazy shit you can buy.
That's why they don't make yoga pants for me.
Don't take my advice on that. But to your point, yes, you have to be careful how you're asking for medications and find out what they're exactly used for. Insurance toolkits will not tell you that, and some of the carriers cannot digest it. Here's my thing, and I do this since day one in this company. I lead with America first.
Why is that?
Why? Because of the prescription MIB pre-check.
They tell you, boom. Yeah.
Tell you right then and there if they're going to be yes or no.
Corbridge also tells you that the condition that they answer.
I use Corbridge for a guarantee issue only,
Corbridge
dude.
rep said is throw it to us first, give us the business, but we'll tell you why
Nah.
we decline it.
America got a better bonus. And another thing too, from my experience with America, they paid all my claims. I can tell you, with the exception of 2 because they lied to me on the application. With the exception of 2 that lied, right?
But it was the lady that.
Right. Outside of that, I trust in them because I know what they paid. I worked with them for a while and I know exactly. And now with their new Eagle plan,
The Eagle series.
phenomenal. But I run with America because I can run. I tell them, let me see what you qualify for first. And I'll run the pre-check. I'll get their basic information, send them the 6-digit code, run the MIB, and I'll wait. And I'll tell them, hey, we got good news. You actually are potentially available for the premier rate of Tier 1, which saves you some money in insurance. If it's Tier 2, I'll go to the second tier. Could be MU, could be AMAM, could be, I don't know. So then I'll compare. But America's always been my number one choice because of that reason right there of the
Well, you
MIB.
can answer pretty quickly, which is
2 minutes. It's instantaneous.
But do they tell you like we decline them for this, or did you just say decline?
For what?
Like,
If it's a decline, does it?
No. I just tell them, no, it looks like you don't qualify for the premier rate. Let me see what better rates available for you. You buy them time. You don't tell them decline.
no, of course.
Yeah, I never tell.
He's saying, does America pop up and say they were declining?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, based on prescription or something on MIB, they say no. Then I'm like, okay, there's something more deep in it.
Then
Than
you could dig.
exactly. I'm like, what's on your prescription that you're not sharing with me because it's
That's
very
how you
important.
ask it. So I used to always
Right.
say, do you take any medications? Well, I had a guy just last week, I said, you take any medications? He goes, no, man, I'm healthy. I said, all right, how about this? I said, do you have any medications prescribed that maybe you don't take? And he's like, yeah, and he had like 7. And I was like,
Of course.
That's a bigger issue.
I always
know
ask
what
them
you're
this,
taking
Shannon.
medication.
Now, Shannon, are there any current prescriptions you have to take by doctor's orders today? And they'll say yes or no. Okay. Are there any prescriptions in the past that you used to take that they told you no longer have to take because your condition got improved over time? And they'll say yes or no. And you tell them, I need to know this because I won't be able to help you efficiently. I won't be able to find the right fit for you because they're going to find out. If they find out, then it's a decline on your record, and then I got to chase somebody else to try to find it. And I don't want to waste your time on the phone either, Shannon. Make sense? Yeah. Tell them what your process. And another thing, too, is while you're doing all this, here's the best way to get not hung up on. This is what I've learned when it comes to like telesales in general. Explain them the process, what it looks like on your end to them. So, Shannon, before I start, I just want to tell you who you are, how I'm going to potentially be able to help you, because I don't know if they qualify. I use certain words. I never say product. I say solution. This solution is going to provide a financial comfort zone for your family when you die. Make sense? I don't say product. Product sounds cheesy. Exactly. I don't like to say product. Product sounds salesy. Now here's what my process looks like. In order for me to potentially help you out, I'm going to ask you some questions. I need to evaluate your financial income and losses to see what's going to be at stake when you pass away. I'm going to ask you a series of health questions. It's very important you're honest with me through this process so I can see what's available. And 3, once we find a suitable fit, we're going to submit a request for coverage, not application. Eliminate the word application. We're going to submit a request for coverage because I don't know if you're going to get approved. Does that see how that correlates? To see if you're going to get approved. Do you have any questions about my process, Shannon? Nope. Wonderful. I just eliminated some objections. Here's what the insurance company is going to ask for you. They're going to ask for who you are, your name, your address, phone number, email, social security number so you can look at your prescription history, who your beneficiary is going to be, and how you're going to pay them, checking or savings. Do you have any questions about the process of the insurance company?
Nope.
What did I just do?
You're avoiding the whole, I want to think about it, I don't want to give my social, I don't want to give my
Exactly.
You're setting the tone, the expectation.
I'm trial closing them.
Yeah.
You're beating them to the punch.
I'm trial closing every single, I want to see if they're paying attention. And you can also say, does that make sense? Yes, it does. Wonderful, let's get started. It allows you to find out who's serious or not when you're talking to someone, a meeting with somebody.
But that moment they say, hey, I'm not giving you the social. And you're already at 10 minutes into the
Oh, yeah.
Then you're like, okay.
If you start asking in the middle and you didn't set the expectation, you already lost the game.
Or worse, you go, that's happened to me when I made a mistake. I go to the end, hunky dory, I'm like, all right, Dean, so option 1 is, so now when you your social, I'm not going to give, I should ask that before I was.
You always ask before.
No, you know what I mean?
But no, you don't ask, you tell them the process.
Yeah, correct.
So they acknowledge your process because guess what? They need help. They just want to be guided. Always remember that. First step. They're crying for help. They want to be held. That they're almost like children. They want to be held because they don't know what goes on with this. Right? So explain to them every step of the way, what does your system look like so they understand. And then send them over any credentials that you do, your NPN number, license. I have, who uses digital business card? I use Haystack.
I use Blake's and
Same, they're all the same thing. Send them that.
Verify underwriter.
Yep. I have the page verifier. They can go in there. I send them everything if they ask for it. Initially, I just tell them who I are. They write my NPN, and that's it. But if they go any further,
I have my personal Facebook on there.
whatever you want.
On there, I tell them my personal Facebook, just friend me, because I got on the high
Yeah.
from them. So I'll put
Yeah.
that on there too.
Just unless you post some political stuff somebody doesn't
No
agree with.
political stuff.
Good man.
We can talk about that privately.
Yeah, I don't even care about that, to be honest with you. But if you are political on one end or the other, and you have a client and they find you, I met with one lady before I walked in. She already researched me. She goes, "Oh, how are your dogs doing?" I'm like, I never told her about my dogs. She stalked me. She found my Instagram and my Facebook. I was like, "Ooh, yeah." You have to be careful. Yeah, you have to be careful, like what you post on social media, because guess what? If your political views don't agree with theirs, they're going to cancel and they can like go all ape shit on you.
Yeah, no, it's clean.
Right. So you have to be careful how you present yourself in a proper manner
When I
too.
put that on there, I'm mindful of that, though.
Always.
I'm not just on there posting. I'm
Always.
mindful that's on my card.
Yep.
And listen, I want them to see me.
Exactly.
I'm real. I'm good with it.
Exactly.
I love just another approach because I'm able to, I FaceTime a client one time. That was pretty awesome. I closed the deal. The video.
Oh yeah, it's great.
She said, oh, you know what? Would it be, Dean, to accommodate you, to give you peace of mind, we can jump on a video call.
Yeah.
Boom.
Absolutely.
It was bad. They go, oh, you're real. And of course, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Avatar.
I don't really make political posts at all just because of that. But I did have a TikTok I made the other day where I explained the tariffs because everybody's going, oh, the tariffs. So I got on. I said Trump is purposely crashing the market. Here's why.
Right.
And that kind of went.
It's doing a
viral.
course correction right now,
Yeah,
basically.
So, but I explained. I said, here's what I said. Give it a month and see if this doesn't happen. Well, yesterday he signed in like 4 different things. Were
All that
exactly what I
stuff,
predicted 2 weeks ago.
so all that stuff that's going on in the real world, what's sad is, the reality is, I'm not siding with any side right now, but what's sad is it's affecting your money and everybody else's money in the markets.
Yeah.
And nobody has control over that. This is why you ask those questions for their finances regarding annuities we talked about earlier. It's important. And I'm going to close off with this. If you're new to annuities and you have a potential case you need help on, I'm part of the SRS team. I'm part of the Ask a Specialist. It's just 3 of us. Me, Frank, John, Gavin. And if you need help with structuring an annuity, illustration, learning it, let me know. I'm going to write my details down so anybody can reach out to me if they need to. I am, yeah. So that way, if you guys have any questions on annuities, it's probably the prettiest I'll write today. I know, right?
Is that a 9 right there?
It is a 9. Sorry, it's sloppy.
Is that a 6?
FIA specialist. So if you have a potential case, Amaka does a really great job at this. When she finds a potential opportunity, she always like, hey, can you hop on a call? I was like, of course. I never say no. I don't like to say no. She always uses this word. I'm going to connect you to a subject matter expert. Phenomenal. Like, it sounds professional. Doesn't sound cheesy. Don't say upline. Don't say mentor. Like, just say for life insurance, senior underwriter is what I like to be referred to. If an agent needs me, senior underwriter or subject matter expert, or FIA expert, or someone more knowledgeable in this department.
We call it a simple retirement specialist.
There you go.
They find somebody.
That's good too. Perfect. Use that as well. Keep it simple. And other than that, that's it. Unless everybody has some last moment questions for me, I'll be one happy to answer.
I've sold a couple annuities, but I keep getting to the point, I've had it multiple times now, where they're like, this is too good to be true, or talk to my financial advisor.
Of course, I love that one.
Yeah.
I mean, and I can't get
So here's how you do that. It's very simple. You ask them what part seems too good to be true that I can further elaborate on.
I can't lose money.
You can't lose money. Wonderful. Do you know why you can't lose money? Has anybody ever explained to you the concept how that works? So you buy yourself time by asking questions back. That's one thing I learned. Repeat what their concern is, and then ask more questions so you have more time to retaliate. So the reason why you can't, because it's an insurance company, it's not invested in stocks. And the reason why your financial advisor is going to tell you, don't go with this because they legally can't charge you for this product to manage it. Because it's not it's not an asset under management. And they'll be like, oh, that makes sense. Tell me more. Right, so it's an insurance company that protects your funds from risk. They protect their funds with you. They also invest with you. And they look at the average performance of the entire year and then give you the interest on the back end. If the market goes down, you don't lose anything.
Because like, in an illustration, it showed 120% participation, and he was just floored. He was like, this is a scam, this is impossible. How are you participating more than 100%? It's only 100%.
Because the insurance company.
Yeah, because it's not actually invested in the market, it just
Exactly.
reflects what the market's doing.
Exactly. Best way to do that is if you ever need statements, let me know. I can send you some statements you can share with your clients. I have tons of them. Yep, and you can actually see the physical returns of that.
Real quick, just listen to this. You ready? What was your return last year on annuities?
My return?
Yeah.
As far as
Clients.
money?
Your average ROI for last year with like a theme. 19 something.
So I placed like just shy of 4.6 million with them.
Yeah.
I don't know what my ROI is. I don't count. I don't even look at that to be honest.
I was thinking you told me it was 19 point.
Probably. I couldn't even tell you. I just cared about how much money they put in my bank account and all the bonuses they pay me.
Right.
That's all I looked at.
I'm sorry, what companies do you recommend for the annuities?
Yes, great question. Absolutely. So we have several companies we can use. We have Athene, okay? That's my number one, okay? We have F&G. We have NLG. We have North American. I'll put NA. We also have Nassau. Silac. Americo does it. Mutual Omaha does it. I think Transamerica has them too. Every annuity is going to be case by case. Yes, Athene's number one. They're number one leading performance product and growth, number one leading in the bonus, probably the best one in general across the board. But everyone has a time and its place. If, let's say, you have a client that has, I don't know, $1 million, whether it's in a 401k, mutual funds, whatever. they're all going to look at one thing together collectively, no matter who you apply with, is financial suitability. And we'll touch base on this. This is important. Suitability is basically a client's net worth. Right, Shannon? Am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong. Please do, because you're Hall of Fame and you're just as I am. Financial suitability is their net worth. If we're liquidating a certain percentage of their net worth, it needs to make sense. It's kind of like a debt to income almost for mortgage when you apply for a mortgage loan in a sense, but not really that. But if the suitability is 70% or more being directed into these annuities, they're going to decline it because of their accessible liquid cash. If it's under, that's a good potential. So we need to figure out, number one, you want to ask for a couple of things. One, what is their goal? Long-term and short-term. Do they plan on touching this money in the next 10 years at least? If so, how? What's their means of manipulating their funds? Do they need to buy a property, investment? What are they planning on doing with their funds in the next 10 years? Do they need it for income? If they don't need to use it, you're good to go. 2, income, right? If it is income-based, how much do they need from this annuity to supplement income? Like a lot of people you're going to work with nowadays, I think RMD is a 73 now when you structure one moving forward. Some people are vested or grandfathered into their old required minimal distribution, like 70, 71. That means they're pulling up right about 4% from their qualified, which is pre-taxed dollars, as income, mandatory per IRS regulations. Because guess what? Money that hasn't been taxed yet, Uncle Sam wants its cut. So they're going to mandatory force you to take 4% of that. Are they taking that? RMDs. If yes, figure out how much it is. If no, that's okay.
That's also those IRA accounts too.
Everything. Anything that's considered qualified money. Qualified means pre-taxed. Non-qualified is after tax, meaning cash on hand, anything they paid capital gains on, anything they liquidated already pay taxes on, right? Could be was it a Roth IRA? Could be IUL if they want to borrow money from an IUL, put it in. They can do whatever they want with that too. So you have to understand the two differences. This is where it can get a little confusing for a lot of the newbies when it comes to annuities. You don't just sell an annuity product because it's phenomenal. It is, but it has to make sense in certain structural points for them, not just you. So what are they planning on doing? Where's the money coming from? And what firm does the money belong to? If it's a qualified account, is it Edward Jones, Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch? Who manages the account now? Get a statement. This is where Ask a Specialist comes in hand as a brand new beginner, because you're going to learn a lot of these things along the way, because not every annuity is the same. You may come to, I'm sorry, man, what is your name? Jesse. Jesse, you may come and say, hey, Dean, I need your help with this client. We're already digesting things. Now it's my job. You found all this out. What's the best outfit for them? Chances are I'm going to lead with a theme, because they have everything. But it could be they may fit into an F&G. Or maybe one of these other ones. I only sell these two. I've sold some Nassau. They're okay. But these two really kill it. Not just for an agent standpoint, but for the client standpoint. Because,
I have a question, sorry.
give me one second. Let me finish with her. So you have to understand that no matter where you place them, you have to create financial structure in the very, very beginning. Now, if someone wants to put cash in there, it's like, hey, I just want to grow. It's sitting in my savings. I don't want to touch it, but I don't want to let it not gain anything either. Great. I'll probably go with Athene right off the bat based on that and find out who's going to be the one inheriting the funds eventually down the road. Now, one trick to annuities is you have to be careful. Inherited funds have a different tax structure. So inheritance, we'll put that as number 4. Athene will only accept an inheritance if it's from a deceased spouse. It can't be kids inheriting it. If it's children inheriting it, F&G will take it only prior to a certain year. I just found this out recently. If it's prior to, prior to the year of 2016, a child can inherit their parents' IRA, for example. But if it's after 2016 or 2017, guess what? They can't. That means the kids will have to liquidate this, pay capital gains tax, and then do whatever they want. It's tricky with inheritance stuff. Be careful. This is why it's also important to explain to your clients to establish either a trust or an estate.
So, from your, all the annuities that you've written, what would you say is your average number of years that people keep their annuities? Like,
So the longest ones I've had still on the books is from 2018, still to this day. Yeah, I still have clients since then.
I mean, but do they choose plans like 10 years? Or
For the most part, this again aligns with what goals they want. Most of them are 10-year. I would say about 85-90% are in a 10-year structure, because that's around the average time. Some are in a 15-year. If they're a younger clientele, they don't need it till much later in life. I'll put them in a 15-year. Yep, bigger bonus too. Even a 10 now is matched on the plus side for the most part, but you also get more participating points with the 15-year structure long term. The only downside of the longer term is the surrender charges are literally clinged on a lot longer. So you have to be mindful, and they're a lot higher at that point. So if they try to pull more money out outside of the desired free withdrawal amount, they're going to start paying higher surrender fees on the amount that they pull out. So those things are a little bit of a factor too. But again, case by case. Everything with annuities is case by case. It's not a one size fits all like some life insurance policies would be. This is why you have to really understand how these work from start to finish, and really digest them. There's a couple of books you can get on these. 7 Benefits of FIAs. You can get on Amazon. It's Sean Ruggiero's book. Great book. Sean Ruggiero was my mentor when I first got into business. Phenomenal when it comes to annuities.
So what is this?
7 Benefits of FIAs. It's like a $10 book. It's
Tom Hegner.
Tom Hegner. Yeah.
have you ever taken money like once it's over, the term is over, like the 10 years or something?
And moved it.
And sort of like took that lump sum and then just did another one for another.
So I've done something before. So when I first started on FFL, Athene had some really poor index structures back in the day, like Janus Index, which is terrible, doesn't do anything. So I looked at some of the older ones that are now 5-6 years into it, and I've renewed them to F&G and started them all over at a better performance structure with a whole new bonus, because the old structure, you can't replace Athene within a certain guideline. In order to do an internal replacement with Athene, it has to be within 90% annuitization, so basically a 10% surrender or less. And it cannot be within 4 years. It has to be 4 years or older. So unfortunately for the clients that are 5-6 years into it, their surrender period's still like 12-13%. Well, F&G gave them a 15% bonus and washed it all out. So I was able to put them in a whole new structure, and only a few of those, not every single one of them. But yes, you certainly can. Once it's annuitized, you can redo it, or you can just continue letting it grow, and it'll still be doing its thing. Only difference is if they now need more money in a 10-year period, it's fully accessible without any surrender penalties. Yeah, you're very welcome. You got a question?
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
So I was thinking of a 1035 exchange. Would that be considered non-qualified after tax?
Depends on the institution. Every institution is different. If you're working with a client to transfer funds, always call the other firm on the phone on a 3-way with them to find out what they need. Don't guess it, because some companies will tell you they need a 1035. Like, you'll talk to a regular customer service rep, like, yeah, we need a 1035 letter of acceptance. So Athene sends them one, and the funds are still not transferred. We call them, like, yeah, you didn't need this at all. I'm like, thanks. So then all they needed was a verbal permission from the client to release the funds. It varies by institution, so be mindful. If you're moving from like Merrill Lynch, Edward Jones, Vanguard, they will need a 1035 exchange. Does everybody know what a 1035 is?
When a BIBA Dorothy, it's like, let's say somebody has a property, like a real estate investment.
That I couldn't answer. I don't do real estate investment transfers. That's something you probably need an attorney for, to be honest with you, too.
Like for example, I want to sell this building, but I want a 1035.
No, you can't. There's capital gains tax on that.
1031, that has to be like for like property, but if they would
Yep.
sell that,
They would still pay capital gain tax
And
on
the
it.
reason I'm asking is my buddy,
take what's left and put it in.
he's a real estate broker, and I'm trying to get him an annuity to leave with me.
He's going to pay capital gains tax.
Yeah.
But the
That's what
problem is, it's going to be a huge capital gains tax depending on the amount. So you can't just do a transfer into an annuity because it's property. It's not an actual like traditional qualified investment.
Got it.
So you have to be careful with that.
1035 property has to go to so another
Yeah, exactly. In order for him to, let's say,
To avoid that tax.
you have to invest in another property for a certain amount of years in order for you to avoid a tax consequence, you know, pay it.
You're answering my question. I'm gonna let him know.
No worries.
It has to be
Sell
like
it
for
down,
like. So
get
if
the
it's a-
cash and bring it over here.
Yep.
If it's a rental property, he has to buy another rental property. If it's a family home, he has to buy another single family home to avoid the taxes.
Okay. So 1035 exchange. Oh, low battery. I don't know why. It's plugged up. So 1035 exchange is an electronic consent form sent by the annuity company of ours to their receiving firm. That means you put the account number on there, the phone number, fax, everything where the funds are sitting at. And then once the suitability is approved by the annuity company, they're going to take that 1035 and fax it over along with an LOA, letter of acceptance. Letter of acceptance just basically states, hey, Shannon, or hey, Fidelity, based on Shannon's Carpenter's request, we're here requesting a qualified tax-deferred transfer on his behalf. Please send the following check to here, made out just like this, paid out to Athene for the benefit of Shannon Carpenter with the account number, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll look at that, be like, well, the client signed it, it's good to go, we got to release it. Well, sometimes Fidelity and some of the other guys will fight the client. Like, what are you doing? You don't want to pay taxes. No, you won't, because it's tax deferred. We're not paying
You ever
taxes.
have them call your clients and say, you know, if you do this, you're going to lose 20%.
Oh, yes. I'm like, that's okay, we're giving him 20%. I know, don't worry, we're giving him 20% back. So how can you do that? Because we're an insurance company, you want an asset under management, thank you very much, please release the client's funds, or you want to have a lawsuit on your case, thank you very much. Like, I'll fight with them, I don't care. Because the client wanted this. So I had cases like that many times, I'm like, oh, not this again.
And I'm like, hey, a lot of people, is this your
And here's the thing too, when it comes to these advising companies, well, I trust my financial advisor. He's been doing really good by me. Okay.
Why are you talking to me?
Yeah, Jesse, you've lost 20% and you still get a statement in the mail, right? And you still get charged a fee. Is it fair for him to charge a fee after losing money? Like, the sad part about those advisors, Jesse, is you don't have the power to put a stop option when the market goes down. An FIA will do that automatically for you. So we don't lose your money when it comes to, we protect you as much as we can if it's not, and we don't charge you. There's no quarterly fee, there's no front load fee. You're very welcome. See, I had a lady recently, I rolled over 2.3 million over. They moved, she had an IRA account. It's very massive. Aged mortgage lead, thank you. And she lived like 5 minutes in my neighborhood too. Yeah. So here's what happened. She had an IRA account at her job. They moved 2.46 million in June last year, charged her almost 4,700 on a front load fee, and they're also managing her on a quarterly fee and then an annual management fee.
So they're gonna eat up her money.
She lost 150 grand since June last year.
She was probably pissed.
She was, but she also got like over 300,000 in bonus over here. She was ecstatic. So she's up in net worth, all of it and double. She's ecstatic. She took 10% out immediately, paid off all of her remaining debt. All she has is the mortgage now. Phenomenal.
I want to ask something because you said you kind of brought me memory here. I bought an H mortgage lead, right? I call the lady TSP, by the way. Another thing that I want to share with all of you, that lady says, "Oh, honey, I'm not looking for a mortgage. I can pay my house off cash today if I wanted to." Dude, when I heard that, I'm like, "Excuse me? You could pay your house cash?" He goes, "Yeah, I have this, I have that." I'm like, "What else do you have that acts like life insurance?" She goes, "I have a TSP account." I go, "Will you be open, because this is me freestyling.
Sure.
Will you be open to see if I can maybe get you more money on that 400? He goes, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, do an appointment." Boom. Shannon came in, he did.
Done.
Dude, he discovered 7 policies with her. IBC,
Really? Now you got
oh, my daughter has a
annuities.
She said, "My daughter has a Janus account." I'm like,
How big was this annuity when you wrote it?
"Oh, it's for 400,000.
All of it.
Hold on, her boyfriend or her husband has a 2.5 million one, but he was hating on us while we were trying to help her.
Of course.
She
She's like,
still
"Oh,
signed up with us, even
dude,
though her
hold
husband
on.
said no.
I had those before.